In last year's NBA draft, Cam Whitmore, a bright spot seemingly in everyone's mock drafts, expected to go at the very least in the lottery after his draft stock continued to rise after an impressive pre-draft showing at both the combine and his pre-draft workouts with many teams in the NBA. He's a 6'5" wing with a 6'8" wingspan that came into the league well developed physically and equipped with the tools to become a good rebounder and defender in the NBA going forward. And so long as he can hone the skill set on the offensive end, he could be a very valuable player going forward. Despite being as high as top 15 in many mock drafts and falling to the 20th pick to the Houston Rockets, which I might add as a Laker fan hurts because I really wanted the Lakers to go get him despite knowing they probably weren't going to play him. It was going to be another one of those guys the Lakers didn't develop, used as a trade piece, and he would have been out of there during the trade deadline more than likely. But I wanted to see Cam Whitmore on the Lakers squad or another team that just wasn't building the way the Rockets were rebuilding at the time. His draft profile comp was to the likes of Miles Bridges and Keldon Johnson, and while he has the same makeup physically as those players, I do believe with a larger role, he can show that he can become an all-star caliber type of player. Now don't get me wrong, Keldon Johnson is a max player in this league already, but I do believe that Cam Whitmore can get to that level if not higher. With some untimely injuries to both Dillion Brooks and Tari Eason, Cam saw more playing time and he made the most of it. Of course, Dillion Brooks is back at this point, but with Tari Eason still out, Cam Whitmore has still made the most of the time he has had, and we're going to talk about that in this video today. But before we get into it, like, comment, and subscribe if you're new, and if you're not new, welcome back to the channel. I appreciate having you guys here. Let's lock in. Now, coming into the NBA, Cam Whitmore was a consensus 5-star recruit coming out of high school and earned the title of Big East Freshman of the Year in his last year at Villanova in 2023. In 26 games with 20 starts, he delivered impressive stats, averaging 12.5 points, 5 rebounds, just under 1 assist, 1.4 steals, and he made 1.5 3-pointers per game for the Villanova Wildcats. Notably, on January 7th against Xavier, Whitmore scored a season-high 26 points, hitting 3-pointers and concluding with an 11 of 18 field goal percentage from the field, accompanied by 2 rebounds and an assist. In the Big East tournament triumph over Georgetown, he contributed 19 points and 10 rebounds in just 28 minutes of play. So the flashes were there in college, but when we get to the pre-draft process, that's when we saw everything come to fruition. I feel like a lot of us kind of know how the draft story with Cam Whitmore went, and a lot of us hear about it a lot anytime we hear him playing on the court in general. So I really just want to get into how well he's played his first year and when he's been given opportunity, because like I said, we all know his draft story. We know he fell a little bit. He didn't fall super far, but he did fall considerably, further than what many of us thought. And though he didn't immediately make an impact on the Rockets, he did make an impact on their G League affiliate, the Rio Grande Valley Vipers. During the initial 3 months, he found himself at the bottom of the Rockets rotation. It was headed by the coach Ime Udoka, who just came on and who emphasized the importance of consistent growth for players seeking playing time over the year, especially when they're in the lower part of the rotation. Since January, Whitmore's continuous development has earned him a more consistent role that Ime Udoka talked about early in the season, capitalizing on the absence of an injured Tari Eason and previous injuries to Jabari Smith and Dillion Brooks. From just 7 games in the first 3 months, he has now played 15 games in the past month, averaging 19.7 minutes per contest compared to his initial 9.3 minutes, and the times we really saw him were the times when the Rockets were either blowing a team out or they were getting blown out themselves. Now with Tari Eason and Dillion Brooks sidelined, the Rockets' 3-point shooting suffered, dropping to 31.7% in the last 3 games that those two were injured. Whitmore's shooting form suggests that maintaining an above average 3-point range is sustainable and crucial for this team, especially in his role. Beyond his shooting prowess, Whitmore's relentless attacks to the basket and prowess on the fast break make him a valuable asset. He can be prone to rookie mistakes, but the positives in his game outweigh any shortcomings that we've seen so far. In January alone, he's averaging 12.4 points on 47, 41, and 74 shooting splits, putting up nearly 5 3-point attempts per game and hitting them at a very high clip. If we look at when they played Charlotte a couple weeks ago, he was able to register a season-high 24 points alongside 4 threes to back up Jalen Green in scoring and help Houston claim a 34-point win as the Rockets sit just outside the play-in tournament during this time. Then you fast forward to when they played the Lakers, and he was big in this game. He had 4 or 5 dunks, if I'm not mistaken, back to back. And though it was marked by very lazy defense from the Lakers, Cam Whitmore still took his opportunity and made the most of it. Now, as Cam Whitmore cements himself as a better overall and more impactful player, questions do arise about the team's starting lineup. Jae'Sean Tate, a long-time team member, may transition to the bench as Whitmore proves to be a superior offensive force. And Whitmore's journey, it's been marked by adversity, from high school challenges to falling to the 20th pick in the NBA draft. In his last 3 games, he's shown that overcoming that adversity, it's possible. Him averaging 21 points, almost 9 rebounds, and 1 assist per game, shooting a 48% clip from the field and 41% from beyond the arc in just 22.5 minutes per game is amazing for any player, let alone rookie. While Cam Whitmore's season averages of 11, 4, and 1 are respectable for a rookie, his shooting percentages stand out. Despite room for improvement in the playmaking department, shot selection, and decision making, Whitmore has proven to be a force in significant minutes. But the reason why there's no room for despair with regard to this improvement is the fact that all of these come with a player's growth as a basketball player and with time in the NBA. And seeing Cam Whitmore be a rookie, it's understandable why his shot selection, decision making, and playmaking are not at an elite level yet, because it is very rare for you to come into the league with those skills refined already. And to go with those other 3 things that need improvement, his shot does need improvement. I'm not gonna sit here and act like he's the best shooter. He has shot very well over the past month and a half, but he's going to need to lean on his athleticism as his jump shooting grows and as his shot selection gets better throughout his NBA career. The Rockets bench seemed to adopt a more fast-tempoed play style, and for one, I like it. Let me just say that now, but it kind of differs from the starting unit, who is more of a half-court offense with Fred VanVleet at the helm, slowing it down a little bit with him and Alpi as the 2 main guys on the offensive end for the starters. But when you look at the bench, you have the young guys coming off the bench, and they're pretty much running the other bench units off of the floor. Both rookies have already acknowledged this stylistic comparison and complementary play that they have with one another, and it appears that Whitmore and Amen will continue to have a fairly impactful role for the rest of the season. But with Tari Eason on the way back, there are going to be some questions for Ime Udoka and the rotation going forward. Now, me personally, I feel like Cam Whitmore should get more minutes. Tari Eason showed a lot during the summer. He was one of the guys I was very, very high on coming into the basketball season. But with that being said, I was also higher on Cam Whitmore than I was on Tari Eason. Now, if they can find a way to incorporate those 3 guys, Tari Eason, Amen, and Cam Whitmore in the second unit, or have Tari Eason start and have Jae'Sean Tate in the second unit with the other 2, that might be fruitful for the Rockets going forward. But overall, I think Cam Whitmore is going to need a year or 2 more of development before he's ready to be an impactful starter every day in this league, not just a starter and or rotation player when guys are injured. Of course, Cam will be a bench guy for the next year and a half or so, but he will quickly transition into a starting role, if not for the Houston Rockets, for another team going forward. And the reason why I say if not for the Rockets, he could be used as a trade piece because the Rockets seem to be ready to win right now. That's all I got for you guys in this one. Let me know what you guys think about Cam Whitmore. If you are a Rockets fan, let me know what you guys think you should do with the rotation, because you guys have options. That's the best way to put it. I think you guys have a very, very good foundation going forward, and it all depends on what moves you make within the next year and a half or so. Especially this trade deadline is going to be big for your team going forward. I appreciate you guys watching. As always, is your boy TB with the greatest hoop stories in the base on the tube, and until next time, I am out. Peace.